All right, this is kind of hard for me to do. I've never been much of a YouTuber, but I want to share this. I wrote a novel and I published it about 10 days ago, and it's done okay. But I really didn't do it for that reason. And I kind of want to talk a little bit about books in the literary industry and what made me want to do it. And it's not for cliche reasons. I've noticed that when I was growing up, I read a lot of the classic novels. I love Bukowski, Fante, Faulkner, Hemingway. East of Eden's one of my favorite books. And when they wrote those books, we all have to make a living, and they definitely wanted to make money. But they really cared about their craft, and they took their time, and they wanted to tell really compelling stories. And contemporary fiction used to rule the book market, and now it's just series after series, writing the same character over and over again, and it's turned into volume and profits. How can I get profits? Through branding. Like, I've never seen more books that are co-authored than I have this year. And I think that that's become a trend with authors, where you push out one or two, at least one book a year, but hopefully two. And then you have like a co-author to kind of help you so that you can push two out a year so you can sell more books. But it used to not be like that. There used to be so much pride in, I'm going to try to write the best book I can write. I'm going to try to tell a great story. I'm going to take pride in what I do because I want people to feel something when they read my story. I want to open a new perspective, offer something to people. And, and then it'll feel like an even exchange when, we ask them for $20. And that's kind of the way I took this whole journey, is like years ago, before computers and stuff, everyone wanted to write the next great American novel. And I certainly didn't do that, but it's worth trying. And now it's about, how can I make money? And so I took 2 years, and I really took my time, and I tried to write the best novel I could write. And while, it was my first one, I feel really good about it. And I just think that people don't do it for the love of the game no more. And, Hemingway talked about it. To him, writing was competition. He wanted to be the best. He wanted to tell the best stories. And you just don't see that anymore. Now it's just about how popular you can get so that you can sell a lot of books. And I'm doing it for the love of the game. And I've already started my second one. And I just think we've gotten away from that books have almost become movies that, you go and see and you forget. And they're not very lasting. And I want to try to write things that will age well and that last. Contemporary fiction is, in a lot of ways, dead. It's not very popular anymore. And books in general are a tough commodity to sell, because you're asking an investment from somebody. It's not like a t-shirt or a hat, where they see it visually, they know exactly what it is, and then they can impulse buy it. A book is, it's an investment. You're asking to allow someone into your head for 10 hours of your time. And that's a tough thing to sell. And I know that. And that's why, I'm not worried about how many books I sell or how much money I make. I just want to try to write great books. Creation is what we were put here to do. Have children, make things with our hands, use our imaginations, write great stories, make great films. When we are creating, we are our happiest. And it just seems people have gotten robotic. And I just told myself, even if I have to work a job I don't like, in my free time, I need to make things. I need to create something. And it just so happens that I like to write books, and I like to write short stories. And so I've decided I'm going to stick this through, and, just keep writing novels, and maybe things will work out and maybe they won't. But, at least I'm creating and I'm trying. And I just think enough people aren't doing that. And the ones who do find success are just more thinking about how they can capitalize on it instead of really focusing on making great art. But, you know, that's just my 2 cents on this. Maybe other people feel differently, but, you know, I certainly believe that creation is what makes us the happiest. And I'm going to keep creating, and I'm going to keep writing books. And I know that AI is coming, and I know that people don't read like they used to. And I was told that no one reads literary fiction, but I'm going to keep writing. And I like observing people, and I like people. And I think normal people have such compelling stories. And they should be told. You know, not everything has to be a fantasy or about a guy killing 300 people with a 9mm pistol. I mean, ordinary life is interesting, and I want to find a way to write about those kind of things. And so, you know, I just wanted to share that. I know it's probably pretty amateurish. This is my first video, but I really believe what I said, and I'll never stop creating because it feels like play to me. And maybe one day I sell some books, and then you get paid to play. And I think getting paid to play is probably the greatest privilege that any human being can do.